Look at these different cheeses. There are so many to choose from, and they all taste slightly different. But they're all made from milk. Milk comes from cows. On this farm, the farmer's wife does the milking. She fixes rubber cups to the teats of the cow's udder. The milking machine sucks the milk from the cow. The farmer heats the milk in a big bath called a cheese vat. He's added something to the milk to make it thick. It's like junket. It's become curd. Now he's fitting a special knife called a cheese knife. A cheese knife has lots of long, sharp cutters to cut through the curds. The curds cook in the cheese vat. Junket is made up of curds and whey. Curds are the thick part and whey is the watery liquid. You can see the curds floating on the whey. Next, they must be separated. Only the curds are needed to make cheese. The whey drains out of the vat. It'll be used for feeding cows and pigs. The curds have to be dried to become cheese. The cheesemaker cuts and turns the curds to help them dry. They don't look like milk now, do they? They look more like rubber. Next, the curds are cut into little pieces and salt is added. It's like a mincing machine. It's mincing the blocks of curd into small pieces. Last of all, the little pieces of curd are packed tightly into a round tin. The tin is called a cheese mould. The mould is put into a cheese press and covered with a lid. The farmer turns the wheel and the press squeezes the cheese in the mould. The last of the whey runs out. The cheeses are kept in a cool storeroom till they're ready to sell. Of course, not all farmers make their own cheese. Most of them send their milk by tanker to a cheese factory. A pipe from the tanker is joined to a pipe at the factory. The milk empties out of the tanker. Inside the factory, the milk has to be heated in these big containers. They're called vats. These buckets are full of rennet. The cheesemaker adds the rennet to the warm milk in the vat. The rennet helps to turn the milk into junket. It takes 20 minutes for the milk to become junket. Then the cheese knives start to cut the junket. Let's watch the curds and whey separating. The curds are cooking inside the cheese vat. They're beginning to become cheese. It's time to empty the cheese vat. The paddles turn until all the curds and whey have emptied out of the vat. The curds are going to be dried to make cheddar cheese. The curds look a bit like scrambled eggs, don't they? They're still quite wet. There's the whey. It's running out of the curds. The curds are dried and turned by machine. The cheesemaker can test the curds. By looking at them and feeling them, he knows if the cheese will be good. Next, the curds are cut into pieces like chips. Salt is added. It's blown onto the chips of cheese. These are cheese molds. They're square ones. A machine fills the mold with cheese. The whey is squeezed out. Then a lid is put on the mould, and more whey is squeezed out. Then the moulds go into a special cupboard. All the air is squeezed out of the cupboard to get rid of the last of the whey. Now we can see the cheese for the first time. Cheese tastes better when it's older. The cheese will be kept at the factory until it tastes just right. Each cheese is packed in a plastic bag. The edges of the bag are sealed so air can't get in. Every cheese is labelled with its date and number. Then the cheese is packed in a plastic box to stop it getting damaged in the storeroom. This man is testing cheeses to make sure they're storing well. He takes a plug of cheese out of the block. First he smells it, then he feels it between his fingers. He can tell when the cheese is ready to sell to the shops.